going on, y'all? Welcome to the Hip Hop Hood Report. I'm Charles Fisher, your host, and this is the Fitness Sheriff. We provide real information to our younger generation, bringing you the bad and the good from the hood. So welcome to season 3. And right now there's a lot going on in New York City, in New York State, across the country, across the world. We are experiencing a pandemic. That's right, COVID-19. And before we go and take you to this interview with my man Danny Barber, who's the head of NYCHA, the Citywide Council of Presidents, representing NYCHA, the New York City Public Housing, we want to give you some facts about what's going on, because NYCHA is a ticking time bomb, and we need to get some help to that population. So me and the Fitness Sheriff is going to read off some data, and then we're going to go and take you to this interview with Danny and let you, see what's really going on in public housing. So you ready, Fitness?
Yeah, let's get into it. So I'm going to start off. 779 people died Tuesday, and 731 died Monday of the virus, the state's highest one-day total, yet by more than 100.
Gruesome facts. One person dies every 2.5 minutes in New York State. That's right, one person dies every 2.5 minutes of COVID-19 in New York State.
These are some scary numbers right there.
Yo, man.
Next, African Americans and Hispanics are dying at a higher rate, 28% for blacks in NYC and 18% in NYC.
For Hispanics, you got it even worse, man. For Hispanics, the data is 34% are dying in New York City and 14% in New York State. Hispanics, we got to do something.
Now it says there is a study that's now being launched to assess why blacks and Hispanics are dying at a higher rate.
I'm quite sure it has something to do with, poor eating and poor diet and living and so forth, but I'm glad the governor decided to do that study because we need it.
Definitely.
Okay. In New York City, not only are men infected in greater numbers, of the 5,489 deaths in New York since the first one on March 14th, 61% were men and 39% were women. Wow.
That's interesting. I wonder why the men are dying at a higher rate.
I don't know, man. They need to do a study on that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm quite sure women keep themselves up a little bit more.
Yeah.
Than us guys. We're not into our health. That's an issue right there.
Definitely an issue. Right. Coronavirus-like symptoms exploded from 45 on March 20th to 241 on April 5th, according to Fire Department of New York data, suggesting the city may be significantly undercounting COVID-19 deaths. In addition, 63% of deaths were among those aged 70 and older. Just 7% of the cases were those who were 49 and younger.
See, that's facts. I got issues with that because I know there's an undercount. And if there's an undercount, that means things are worse than what they really are. Yeah. Until we can get some real testing, we're never going to know the data, and we're never going to get out of this nightmare. And to touch on that, 4,732 of those who died had at least one other chronic disease. The record showed hypertension, diabetes, hyperemia, coronary and artery disease, retinal disease, and dementia. These are underlying diseases.
And these all tie into health and fitness because if your immune system's not good and you were eating terrible and weren't in the gym staying in shape, you have some of these diabetes, high blood pressure, and all these things. So because of these, you're going to get hit ×2 because of the coronavirus.
And let's not forget asthma. So many of our brothers and sisters got asthma out there. Yeah. And please, if you got it, stay at home. Don't gamble. Don't play Russian roulette with your life.
Remember, all the data you hear does not reflect the people dying at home, which means the numbers are a lot much higher.
I was curious about that because they only count the people that died in the hospital for the data, but people who died at home, put them in a bag, whatever, they haven't figured out a way to bring all that data together, which is a problem because if we don't know the data and if we're not getting tested, how the hell are we ever going to solve the problem? So, all right. The last fact, COVID COVID-19's toll in New York City is now more than 1,000 deaths, higher than that of the deadliest terror attack on U.S. soil, which is 9/11. The 9/11, which killed 2,753 people in the city and 2,977 overall when the planes was hijacked. So they basically saying that COVID-19 has killed more than 9/11. So that makes this the worst catastrophe ever in New York City, and obviously it's the worst catastrophe ever in New York State, and it looks like it may be the worst catastrophe across the globe as we enter this pandemic.
So it's getting worse.
It's getting worse. It's not getting better, and they're not telling us everything. But now, you know what we need to do as we kick off the Hip Hop Coronavirus Awareness Project (HCAP) to inform you what's going on. We're going to take you to meet my man Danny Barber and to tell you what's going on. I want to give a shout out and thanks to the People's Shaw, Damon John, Power 105.1 for all their help, and our girl Jamila Rose coming out with that hot book. From projects to profits, man. Grab that book, sisters, because you're gonna need how to get out of this dilemma, because there's a health dilemma, then there's gonna be an economic dilemma, and you're gonna need to know how to wiggle, and Jamila Rose know how to make things pop. So let's go meet Danny, man.
Let's go do it.
Let's get it on. See y'all. Yo, what's going on? It's Charles Fisher representing the Hip Hop Hood Report. I'm up here in the home of hip hop, the South Bronx, Jackson Houses, with my man Danny Barber, the president of NYCHA. Danny's been out here doing a lot of work. It goes down up in here. The coronavirus is hitting it hard up here in the Bronx, and we want to know what's happening with NYCHA and what's going on. Danny, could you just tell us, man, what's going on, man? What is NYCHA doing, man, for public housing?
Well, when it comes to the residents of public housing, all NYCHA's doing is sending out little updates of what's going on and posting in the lobbies. If you're telling people to stay home, how can they read the postings in the lobbies? Now, I've been requesting as a citywide chair that whatever you send me information should go to every resident of public housing. That has yet to happen. So, to answer your question and be honest and truthful, they're not doing much right now.
So as far as awareness, getting the word out, people don't know what's going on.
I mean, they pretty much know what's going on from what the TV's telling them and stuff like that, but it would help from your landlord to get a letter or something in the mail stating, this is what's going on, this is what's happening. Now, I mean, it's a serious issue. It's a life-threatening situation, but more could be done on NYCHA's behalf.
Okay, so what are you doing? What are you doing to make things happen? I see you got food out here. I know this is a big job for you. You know?
Well, even before this food even came into play, when the coronavirus first broke and before it got to be the pandemic, I was cleaning the lobbies of my buildings in Andrew Jackson's and in Morris Senior Air Rights. I went out and I purchased cleaning supplies to give to them to clean these buildings.
But let me interrupt you. What's going down with the sanitation and the sterilizing and all that? Is that being done?
Well, NYCHA's hired a couple of cleaning companies, senior buildings. They're allegedly cleaning the buildings 5 days a week. The non-senior buildings, they're being allegedly cleaned 3 times a week.
3 times a week? You can't clean a building 3 times a week, man. The virus is every day.
But they're only touching the touch points. They're only doing mailboxes, elevators, elevator buttons, railings leading to the building and inside of the building. The doorknobs on the stairwells. Those are the only things they're cleaning. But what about those surfaces connected to the touch points, like the doors, where the pathogens crawl across the surface to get back to the doorknob? No one's looking at the little thing. It's the little things in life that always mean the most and not the big things.
What doesn't make sense to me is that the virus is going to live 7 days, but you're only cleaning
the buildings 3 days.
But it's up to the caretaker, the staff that NYCHA has here at the developments to do their job to clean. They cannot properly clean when, one, they don't have the proper materials to clean with. Two, they're not here to clean due to that alternate work schedule and whatnot. So it's a lot. And it's the resident that has to suffer the most. So, I mean, we've been yelling and screaming at NYCHA that AWS, alternate work schedule, it doesn't work. We tell Gregory Floyd and Vito Massachulo, they seem to feel that it works. The general manager of NYCHA and head of the union. The program does not work. We do not like it. We wish you take it, leave, go away with it. We don't want it.
This is a ticking time bomb right here. You're talking about 800 to 1 million residents all living on top of each other. Alternate work schedule, that can't happen. You can't do social distancing in public housing. Mm-hmm. Kids are out of school. You can't go into the parks. There's no one here presenting any programs. It's a public relations nightmare. It's a ticking time bomb, and there seems to be no solution in sight. What message do you have for the mayor, the governor, the president, or anybody as the citywide council president?
Well, I mean, it should be about the residents. You supplying a home, but you can't tell them to wash their hands for 20 seconds thoroughly and consistently if the water's not hot for them to wash their hands. You can't tell them to stay at home when everything in the home is forcing them to leave the home and go outside. How can they get knowledgeable of what's happening if you're only gonna post the lobbies? So they need to go outside to read what's on the walls in the lobbies. Look, ladies and gentlemen, this isn't nothing new. The residents of public housing, we were in the midst of a pandemic anyway. Lead paint, mold and mildew, no hot water, no heat, boilers not working. That's a pandemic we were faced with, that we brought a lawsuit on the city and we won to bring the federal monitor, to bring oversight. But the oversight that was bought isn't overseeing anything. It's still business as usual. So what will it take? Another lawsuit? Maybe this time to the federal, to the World Court. Maybe we sue NYCHA up at the United Nations. Sounds kind of interesting. Something I think that I need to look into with some prominent people that help me to sort a couple of these things out. We deserve better. We want better, and we won't continue to accept the less that you treat us as. We want better, and we're demanding it, and we're gonna take better.
What's going on, y'all? I'm the fitness sheriff, and I'm here with my guy Danny Barber, and we over here at the Jackson houses right now, and we in the middle of this pandemic, man, and it's very crazy out here. You know what I'm saying? There's people who need a lot of help. There's people who need to know about awareness and how to prevent the virus and a whole bunch of other things. And as far as me, I like to get into the fitness aspect of this and how we can control this and some things we could do as far as the fitness. And there's senior citizens out here who don't know anything about how to help their immune systems and to keep them stronger. So I'm with Danny, like I said, and you know what I'm saying, we got this food right here. So what type of things are we doing with the senior citizens to keep their immune systems up and to make sure that they fight this virus?
Well, the seniors are basically, all the senior centers are basically closed now. So outside of what I'm doing, making sure that they can get at least 2 nice meals for the day, I throw them in a couple of extra to help them out, to hold them over. And then if they're registered in the senior center, this is a problem for me. You have to be registered in the senior center in order to eat. So the city worked out a deal with Grubhub and those delivery services that they would deliver meals to the seniors who are registered in the program. But what we come to find out is some of the senior programs don't be honest with the number of seniors that they serve on a daily basis, because it's all a numbers game. And a lot of the times they're counting deceased people. My mom was in the system twice. She's been gone since September the 21st, 2013. So, I mean, it's at the point where how could you count a dead person and then when I come home last week Friday, I see meals on the counter for my mom. That opened up a lot to deal with though, but the seniors are being taken care of. DFTA's getting them, they got it together, but they were giving them snacks before calling it a meal, contributing to the diabetes problem because they gave them, and the snacks it consisted of a high starch content. Whether it's wheat or not, it's still high in starch. So it worked out for the good for them anyway, but the seniors are being looked after.
Okay. Now, if you're watching this video, remember, if you are a senior citizen, you gotta watch what you're putting in your body because our immune systems is what is going to keep us strong enough to fight this.
You some of you little doo-doo, y'all gotta listen to that doo-doo, and understand that this is not a game. People out here giving away the coronavirus and he giving away meals. So if you out here and you taking chances, let me tell you something. This is the real it can get. I like it as a joke, but it's not. I was taught a long time ago, if you got patience, you end up not being a patient. It takes patience to give out food. You know, they give out food. Me, I don't put the mask on my face. Now, I wear the gloves because I show you what happens, why they say wear gloves. Because this is all the stuff that can cling to your fingers in the course of a day. Now, some of them might corona, some of them might be old weed, some of them might be all kinds of stuff. But the real, when you see, I touch a lot of money, so I know money is one of the most nastiest things in the world. But on the real side, this out here, come on. You can't condemn a guy for this. And people condemn people for doing the simple things. Because there's people that live in there that never gonna see a stimulus, they're never gonna see a check, because they're living with their aunts, their cousins, and they're not on the lease. You know, like people say, oh, well, take the census in there, you know, and that's good too, and I'm not going to say not to, but the realest thing you can ever do is look at and count the people. Don't count the windows. Count the people that's hiding behind the curtain in them windows. Because like you figure a meal, you shoot that meal somebody. Now look at it. Let me show you something. Okay. Downtown, this is a gourmet. This is a gourmet meal for real. Please believe that. This is a gourmet meal downtown. In my hood, I live in the hood all my life. I'm not never leaving the hood. That's just me. But one thing I'm going to tell you, like you see all this stuff here, see, I go around people that, because there's crackheads that not going to go, they don't give a fuck about a corona, excuse my French. You got addicts that don't care about corona. You got people that are homeless and scared to go to the shelter because they're going to get beat up in the shelter. If you've never been in the shelter, you could tell a person to go to a shelter, but all them people that's telling them people to go to the shelter, how about you go spend one night in there? Spend one night in the shelter where you trying to sleep and hope nobody don't take your TV, what I mean your TV or your stuff, or take your car, your Chevy or late. Hey bro, can I, you making me a boxer? Thank you, brother. Hey, yo. Listen at this. Please look at this, man. I'm gonna step over so he can take his mask off so you can really see his face, man. Please take that mask off and start all over, man. This is what they do. I'm 65. I'm the real warlord of the black space. You can Google me, I'm Bam Bam. I'm not afraid of whatever you put out there, what it is what it is. But I'm saying give back. Look what he's giving back to. And everybody talking about stay at home, don't do this. There's people out here that are afraid to go to the store. And some people can go to the store, but how you gonna go to the store when you didn't have money before? Well, you got some money now? Come on. My brother, don't stop. Don't stop. I'm going in the hood right now, where I live at, in the hood. See, over here, he got a person giving away. I'm going to 170 Palace Avenue, where the only thing they selling out there is crack, coke, and dope.
Thank you, man.
And for those of y'all that think, listen, this is what I do. I'm a professional bodyguard. This is what I do for a living, man. I used to beat people up for a living. This is what I do for a living. You help somebody like that, you're supposed to give back, man. And some of you people that don't understand that he's not getting no help. He ain't got nobody coming over here helping him. Look at this mask. You can't get nobody to bring him a mask.
I'm here with Danny Barber. I want to get into the mental illness, census, and what's going on with the youth.
All right, well, let's kick it with the youth. The youth first. The youth, this is hard for them. Have to stay confined to a closed area for a long period of time. Our children are faced with a lot, man. We never looked back at the 80s babies. We never came up with a cure for the crack epidemic. The kids born off of crack. And then they started experimenting and going into other drugs, and then they became worse. So our youth they're here, they're running around. They're not taking the pandemic seriously. Majority of them, I won't say all, but a good number of them, they aren't taking it seriously. The census, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Daniel Barber, and I urge you all to get out and to participate in the census. $23,000 per person is what you get. We need those monies in our communities. It's times like this, had the money been there, those monies could have been used on this community. So I filled out my census papers, mailed them off in the morning. I urge you guys to as well. It's a big campaign. You could either do it through the mail, online, or wait for the door knockers. So let's be counted, let your voice be heard, because you filling out that piece of paper, it escalates your voice louder than you ever think that you could ever be heard. So let's do that. And the last part was the mental illness.
Yes.
Mental illness is a strong thing and whatnot. So when it comes to the mental illness aspect, I suffer from mental illness. I suffer from depression. I suffer from depression very bad, because my parents, I miss my parents. There's nothing that I wouldn't do for 5 minutes just to see my mom. I look at the young people and how they disrespect their parents. And we heard Bam Bam speak about how I'm giving back and all of that. It allows me to do other things than just to take the time to get into deep thought, because then that's what triggers mental illness in a lot of people, the deep thought. I start to think about my parents, and then they become a thought, and then that depression comes. So it doesn't make you less of a person because you need help. It doesn't make you a wimp, a chump, a punk, whatever you want to call it, because you go to seek the help. You're the coward and you're weak when you know you need the help and you won't go and get it. So my name is Danny Barber, and I do a lot. I'm a powerful member of society, and I suffer from depression. I miss my parents.
So you were briefly just touching up on how there's a pandemic right now, but not the main pandemic that everyone is talking about, but just the pandemic that's been going on in NYCHA as far as the lead, as far as the heat and the hot water and all that. Can you touch upon that and how we can clear that up, because that's also causing a health problem for the young adults and for the kids and the seniors as well.
All right, well look, let's go back as recently as Saturday. Saturday morning, Andrew Jackson houses had no water. The house pump went down. That allows the water to circulate throughout the developed throughout the development. NYCHA 6 a.m. I call them at 7:30. I report it. Somebody comes out probably 8:30, 9 o'clock to look at the situation. They start to work on it. Water's not restored to 2:30 in the afternoon. But we're in a pandemic of the COVID-19 coronavirus that's killing our people by the droves. Then on top of that, once the water's restored, one of my other buildings, 785 Cortland, they didn't have hot water until about 11 something that night. So it meant that they went 20 plus hours with no water and no hot water. So how were they properly able to sanitize their hands? How were they properly able to cleanse their homes? I mean, NYCHA has to get it, and they have to really get it because they're playing with people's lives, and it seems like they don't want to get it. They're not going to be happy till somebody either dies or somebody's laid out somewhere, and it's happening where they're going to people's homes and they're finding our seniors and our residents that are dying at home. And the only thing that happens is a van pulls up and the body's in a black bag, and the van is already half full. So now here it is, it's another bag to the collection. That's not right.
As far as the coronavirus affecting the population of NYCHA, how many residents are in NYCHA? This housing project and just the other ones across the New York City?
Well, I'm gonna give it to you on the citywide. Citywide, there's 341, 42 developments in NYCHA's portfolio. NYCHA's given a count of 400,000, but that's the same count when I was a little boy, 2 years old and whatnot. NYCHA's well over 1 million people, legal tenants, and then probably another 500,000 illegal tenants. So we figure NYCHA's a city within its city. NYCHA's bigger than the size of Boston. So for a pandemic to affect NYCHA and to hit more than one building at a time, not only does it affect the people who live there, it'll terrorize the people who work there and the surrounding communities. So this is something serious, and it calls for NYCHA to step up, or either the people in charge need to step out and somebody who could do it better come in to do a better job. You can't play with people's lives. Can't.
And pilots, I'm talking about these are not old people, these are kids. Little kids, because their mom living here, mom told them don't go outside, and the only one they hanging out with is their crew. Because you know how when you grew up, you wasn't listening to that mom. You after 15, 16, 17, you listen to that your crew. Your crew is your family. So that's who you hanging with. If the crew say, yo, come hang out, you're all hungry together. And we're gonna be hungry together. And so what happens is people get society, they get, I don't know, you get $1, you get a couple of dollars, you start feeling a certain kind of way. You're like, oh, this, and this, and I'm not dissing. I wish there was more people like you. Because there's people out there that they ain't taking this shit and selling it. You can see them polishing it off right on the spot. Look, I'm talking about how long I left here?
10 minutes.
Look.
Give me that. I feel like that.
Look. Where? 10 minutes. And look, bro, it ain't about me selling no money. I got a packet full of motherfucking money. This shit don't matter. How much money you making? This shit is the realest shit in the world. This shit here is the realest shit that ever happened. Because I give a nigga $5, a nigga going straight to the crack man. But I get a nigga, let me give him one of them motherfucking meals. He gonna punch that motherfucking meal off. I don't know, like I said, bro, I'm really adamant about it because there's a lot of people that don't take time to think about nobody other than their motherfucking self. You know what I'm saying? Right. They forget what it's like to be homeless. I know what it's like. You know what I'm saying? And then when you trying to fit in with your crew, whether you blood, Crip, Yenta, whatever it is, like we with us was Black Spade, Black Pearl, Savage Newman, Savage Strong. It's just different names and different faces, but it's the same bullshit. Niggas is fucked up right now. And excuse me for cursing, but it's what it is. And if you've been fucked up before all this shit happened, now you're scared to death. Because you don't want to look like a Trump in front of your friend. Your friend said, nah, man, I ain't going home. So you're not going home. Why? Then your mom just telling you, if you go in the house, stay in here. How you gonna tell a little kid stay in the house, he's from the street? Half of them don't know how to work that computer. The computer shit to talk to no school. That Zoom shit, half of it don't work for. I don't know in my hood, I live in the Bronx. You take a survey here about how many people know how to hook up their own shit to tell their kids to sit there and read that or sit there and play with this. You understand what I'm saying? My grandson, he picking it right up, but his moms don't know. Because the blind leading the blind. And I'm not taking nothing from nobody else, but man, we gotta do something better, man. Because right now, this is like we're in a third world country. And see, the crazy part is, it don't care how much money you got. They don't care about the color of your skin, because we all in this together. People ask me, am I afraid to die? Nah, because I already made peace with God. So whatever's supposed to happen to me is going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Whatever's supposed to happen to me is going to happen. If it ain't happened by now, and I didn't have guys blow doors out, she got whole cars up, all kinds of stuff. Right. And I'm still here. I done bodyguard everybody from Puffy to the President of the United States. But I seen him do something, him. In here. See, people don't, I don't like blowing nobody, blowing them up or putting them on the spot, but I'm talking about facts. I ain't talking about something I read or heard. I'm talking about a fact. With certain things happening around here, and certain people showed up, and if it wasn't for him, you think Corona got body bags? Come on, man. This is the hood. They don't call the police, they call certain people. And they don't get it because he's a member of society or he's a good member in the project. It's just he's from the project. You know how many people say they from the hood but don't know the price of milk? You know what I'm saying? They're from the hood and can't, you live in a neighborhood where they sell new shit? Can't answer that question. You're not from it. You know what I mean? See, I love this. I love all this out there, man. I love this. And I love when I can give back to them. Sure, many a time I could have been left. I get a certain amount of money every year because Uncle Sam turned me into something that I'm not mad, and I'll do it again for my country. That's why you see that flag there? That's my flag. You see that feather? It's my flag. I love this country. You can tell he love the country. But if it ain't a soundbite, remember when they was talking about, the buildings are falling down and, and if we don't hurry up and get this and get that, it's going to happen. And that was all good for a soundbite. People still living in the same, go in the bathroom, they got the same leak, the same everything. Not a new leak, the same leak. But it's all right, you don't give up. Hey, bro.
Is there a message that you have to the celebrities and the artists out there on how they can get involved to help end this pandemic?
Well, like I said, to get a part of the food distribution, MB79 at assembly.us .usa.ny.gov. That's Michael Blake. You can worldcentralkitchen.com. You can write to them for financial contributions or just to be a part. Danny d.barber156 @gmail.com. DBarber156 @gmail.com. Send it out on Facebook. It's Daniel Barber. On Instagram, it's Daniel Barber 70. On Twitter, it's Mr. Prez, PREZIDENT. So there it goes. To the stars, to celebrities. These are the people in public housing that push your careers and make you thrive. So during this epidemic, this pandemic that we're going through, to come together to give back to them, that's not a lot to ask. Come on, guys, get on board. If I can do it and I'm just a little small guy from the hood, imagine what you guys could do. And I do it with no budget. I do it by the grace of God who strengthens me. So imagine what y'all can do with the millions that you have. Step up. These are the people who buy your records. These are the people who support you. These are the people who help you get to where you are. And last but not least, public housing was a stepping stone for a lot of you, and it gave a home for you growing up as a kid. The little you could do is to give back.
In King Martial Arts, we try to get these KN95 masks. We want them to give every resident masks because it's important that if we're going to add social distance and we're going to try to eliminate this virus, people got to have masks, man. So we're working on is trying to get my man to donate 1 million masks so that everybody in the developments can have a mask. So we're going to work that out with you as we put things together. But it's KN95, my man Ali, he's working on it. But we think that we can't just talk about it, we got to do it. So if every resident in public housing has a mask, and we can maybe every week give them a new one, I think that would help in eliminating the virus.
So to Ali and King Martial Arts and everyone involved with you, I thank them for the efforts. And you bring it to fruition. On behalf of the residents, we appreciate the thought of you trying to help every resident. So I thank you ahead of time.
We representing the Hip Hop Coronavirus Awareness Project. I'm here with my man Danny Barber. The president is going down. This is a ticking time bomb. We're here to show nothing but love. The president, the mayor, the governor, we don't care who it is. We're here to let you know what the situation is because these people need help, man. They need help. All right, we're gonna clean up the rest of the city, but we got a city within a city. NYCHA is bigger than Boston, Detroit, Miami. You talking about 1.5 million people. You heard what Danny said. So if you don't solve the problem here, and we clean up the rest of the city, the surrounding communities, all these infected people, they're just gonna reinfect everybody else. We'll never get rid of this virus. There has to be attention on NYCHA developments. There's gotta be a better situation in regards to cleaning, information, development, how it's going down, so that we can clean up everything, not just one part of the city, but the entire city. And this is a city within the city, and we need your help. Right or wrong, my brother?
Yes, sir.
I think you're doing a great job out here feeding the people. You don't have no young people helping you, but that don't matter because you're a trooper. I know you're going to do it because you want to make sure that these people are good, because that's what the president's supposed to do. We appreciate you humbly. Keep up the good work. We're going to get the word out to the people, and hopefully, man, we'll get the troops in here. And like we said, it was a pandemic before Corona hit with the lead and the vestis and then the mold and all that. It was a situation before that, but now it's adding gasoline to the fire.
Yes, sir.
It's adding gasoline to the fire. And if people think that the corona is something, watch, man, when this ticking time bomb blows up, man. You want to talk about body bags, morgues, and refrigerator, all that there, it's going to go to another level, and they're going to try to hide it. They're going to try to hide it.
Have you ever thought of a situation where the cemetery gets so crowded that they have to turn bodies away?
Yeah, and that's where we at right now, turning bodies away. So we're serious out here. So Dan, my man, practice that social distancing, clean your hands, whatever, speak to people. It's going down. Thank you.
Respect the 6 feet. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, my name is Danny Barber, and I'd like to give a special shout out to Charles Fisher, Sharif the Fitness Sheriff, and the Hip Hop Coronavirus Awareness team, the group, the campaign. It's a mission, and they out here doing it. So I take my hat off. I salute you gentlemen for getting out here to get the awareness out about this coronavirus, and it's taking our people's lives. So, ladies and gentlemen, adhere to the message, because these brothers are strong. They're the true heroes, because they're out here spreading the message. Peace.